Good morning. Welcome to our daily devotion. It is Saturday, May 22nd. This is the first night on a long night where I slept all the way through. Gosh, the alarm clock went off this morning and I was still sound asleep. I've been waking up in the middle of the night and not able to go back to sleep thinking about Collision and the youth groups and everything else. So God gave me a good night's sleep last night. Looking forward to meeting again tomorrow night. Hoping that many of you will return. And I know there's a lot of people that were not able to go the first Sunday that are promising to come tomorrow night. So we should have a good crowd again. You'll be able to hear the second part of Rewards in Heaven. But today we're going to look at Matthew chapter 22, verse 39, where Jesus had just given the answer on marriage in heaven. It says, when the crowds heard this, they were astonished at his teaching. They were astonished at his teaching, amazed at his teaching. They started following him because of his miracles. That's why the crowd started following him, and then were soon captivated by his teaching. Listen here what it says in Matthew 7:28 and 29. It says, when Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law. Good morning, Marcy. Jesus taught with authority, taught with great conviction. Teaching was important to him. That's everywhere he went. Whenever he would enter a town, he would go to the synagogue to teach, go to the temple to teach. Spent his life doing that and taught his disciples so that his disciples would continue to do that. When I was a youth pastor for over 17 years at two different churches, I learned how important teaching was. Most youth pastors relied on youth having fun to attract them. I remember going we took some of my leaders, we went to a church over close to San Diego down there, and because they had a huge youth group, and we went there, and my gosh, it was like going to Disneyland or Magic Mountain. They had rock climbing, they had everything imaginable, and when it came time for teaching, they probably had like a 5-minute lesson, just on a topic. So it was obvious kids were going there. They were attracted there for the fun. But that only works for so long, I've learned. After a while, you realize you're competing with Knott's and Disney and Six Flags and everywhere else where kids can go to have fun. And it takes a lot of creativity and money and facility, etc., to be able to do that kind of stuff. And I also realized, morning, Mary, when I was youth pastor, I was in my 40s when I started. Most of the other youth pastors were just young guys, young girls, and they, in my estimation, made a mistake of trying to be buddies with everybody. And the young people were not looking for another friend. They were looking for a mentor. They were looking for a teacher. Just no different than the people of Jesus' day. They were looking for a teacher, and Jesus was teaching them unbelievably, and that's what caused them to keep following him. Now, we had fun at our youth groups, don't get me wrong, but we were also serious. We were also very serious. In the long term, youth returned and brought friends, not because of the fun, but because of their lives were changing. They were growing spiritually. Their lives were changing, and as a result, they were telling their friends about it. I can remember many times youth pastors from other church coming over to visit us, kind of like to see what we were doing, and invariably, so many of them would talk about, wow, you guys get serious there. And we were serious, and it attracted large groups. And this is exactly why the crowds followed Jesus. The miracles were similar to to having fun at the youth group. It was fun. I mean, everybody would love to see a miracle. My goodness, I'll guarantee you, if if people came to Collision on Sunday night, and lo and behold, we prayed over somebody and a miracle happened, you don't think the church wouldn't be packed the following week? Of course it would. Of course it would. But what would they be coming for? They'd be coming to see the next miracle. and then the next miracle, and then the next miracle. And then after a while, it's kind of, oh, it's just, oh, there was only one miracle last night. Usually there's two or three. There was only one last night. It's the teaching, it's the changed lives that bring people back, that bring them to bring friends with them, family with them. And this is true in the adult church, no different, no different. We always say, when I go to church, I want to laugh 3 times and I want to cry 3 times. I want it to be fun and I want it to be dead serious. I don't want it to be all fun and I don't want it to be all serious. I like the combination of them. That's why I do silly songs when I teach. Some of you, Marcy, you may be sitting there wondering why did he even sing that song? And here's here's where you have to realize where I'm coming from. Morning, Mary. You have to realize where I'm coming from. When I'm in church on a Sunday night now, or when we used to meet Sunday morning, my whole thought is if an unbeliever is sitting in there, because ultimately that's who I want to talk to, is you people are saved already. So ultimately, I want to talk to that person, and invariably, when someone is new to a church, and someone is, there was a young girl that came Sunday, whose parents were always came to our youth group, and she brought a friend with her, and this friend, from what I understand, is not a church girl, didn't grow up in any church or anything, but she came with her friend. And I can imagine how scary that is for someone coming, a young person sitting in with mostly adults in the church. This is the way an unbelieving person would come. They would sit towards the back, and they would sit like this with their shoulders up, just kind of like checking us out. My job is to get their shoulders to drop and to get a smile on their face, because now they're feeling comfortable. Otherwise, if they stay like this, it's like looking at their clock like, oh God, how long is this going to last? I have to try and relate to them. And they came to church with a preconceived notion in their head, a preconceived notion that, boy, this is going to be boring. This is going to be strict. This is going to be dead serious. This is going to be another one of those church services. So when they see something different, like the pastor singing a silly song, it's kind of like, whoa, that was different. When they see Dave Sloan get up and do announcements and have humor with it, it's kind of like, oh, that's different. But then by the time you get to the message, you've already got their shoulders dropped, and they're now more willing to listen. They have open ears instead of sitting like this with closed ears, not wanting to hear what you have to say. I'm constantly aware of that. I don't sing these songs just for the heck of it. I have a purpose behind it. This Sunday, if you come this Sunday, the announcements are going to be different. We're going to do something a little different than normal with announcements. And it's to be creative to get those new visitors to drop their shoulders. So in time, as the church grows, hopefully, I'll start challenging them now, because now they're enjoying coming, hopefully. And if they are, then hopefully they'll start talking to their friends about it. Start saying things like, wow, you need to come Sunday night. It was really different. And I think you'd really like it. I think you would enjoy it. To start encouraging their unbelieving friends to start coming. That's who Jesus was talking to here in the crowds. Remember he said he had great sympathy. He saw them like sheep without shepherds. And he had great compassion over the crowds. The crowds were following him because they were seeing the miracles, and he had great compassion because they were lost. They were lost, like sheep without a shepherd, lost, not knowing where to go. So then Jesus started teaching them so they knew what life was about, so they knew what eternal life was about. And as a result, said the crowds were astonished at his teaching. And it caused them to keep coming back and to keep coming back. And that's what I hope that we'll keep doing at Collision, that we'll keep doing solid teaching, that there will be solid worship there. Even the worship, if that young girl that came Sunday probably never heard worship music, but when she's sitting there and the band is singing, and then she looks around and sees other people singing and sees people with their hands up in the air or people standing, it's kind of like they get caught up in it. They get caught up in it, kind of like, wow, these people are serious about this worship. It's important for us to set the standards so that they follow it. So that's what we're trying to achieve here. That's what I've done with youth groups over all the years that I've been a youth pastor. It's over 20 years now, or more than that when I consider Collision. Now 30 years of leading youth. We get serious. We get serious. That I've learned a long time ago. That's what brings youth back. They grow spiritually and they see their lives change. And that's what brings back adults no differently. Thank you for watching this morning. As you know, tomorrow's Sunday, so there'll be no morning devotion, but we'll be videotaping the service. There's almost 300 views to last Sunday when I used to do the Sunday service on just video only. I can remember when we first started, we were getting like over 100, and then it slowly kept going down and kept going down until there was very few people that were watching the videos anymore on Sundays. It was getting down to like 20, 25, 30 views only. So now to see almost 300 again on Sunday, it's been a revival. God has caused a revival. So I thank those of you that watch these daily devotions, those of you from other cities, other states, other countries, appreciate you dearly. So thanks for continuing to watch these. We will continue doing them. So I'll see you Monday morning at 8 o'clock. And for some of you, I hope to see you tomorrow night at Collision. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. God bless you all.